Fuck, I forgot to hit record.
But I did want to talk to you about we kind of just started going off on Cancun because that was like our last experience together. It was so fun, man.
Pretty much, bro.
Um,
She's 3 years ago in November.
3 years ago, that fast, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot has changed, and that's a big reason why I wanted to have you on here for sure. Sorry if I'm not like looking right at you, but I'm looking at you.
You're good. You're good, bro.
Um, so much has changed, but a lot of the things that I was saying before, of like your your hustle, your grind, your accountability for yourself was implemented then, and it continues to be implemented now. And you see the business going crazy, and you see the way you operate family life and friends and having, even being on social media and stuff like that. You're literally just like from the outside looking in and
Yeah.
knowing how you operate, like you're fucking killing it, bro. You're doing a great job. Like you're I mean, obviously I don't know the ins and outs of your life, but I've seen the way you operate when operating in a high functioning environment, and it blows me away because I'm literally trying to do the simplest shit and my mind is like, and I can't stay focused, But you, for some reason, just got it fucking nailed in. You got it locked in, man. You're so focused.
Bro, it's a lot of discipline. In all honesty, like I find myself the same exact way because I want to do a million things, and if I don't write down what I'm supposed to be doing, I generally will not accomplish what I need to accomplish at least for a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of like things that I've developed even over the course of the last few years since we even last did a project together where it's like all I do, bro, and this is from my coach, and my coach created this, is literally just jot it down. By 10:30, I have to jot down what my deposits are going to be when it comes to a power deposit, which is health related, a purpose deposit, which is like having to do with self-development because I need to do something. I need to invest something that's going to help me develop, whether it's watching a podcast, listening to
An audiobook
whatever
or
it's going to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I need to work towards something that's going to make me some sort of profit, whether it's marketing, sales strategy, leadership orientated. I need to do something, and I need to create an affirmation. So it just says, I am ... And I affirm that I am this. And I think little things like this help me throughout the day, because now the whole day, if I start losing sight of like, okay, I just spent 20 minutes on Instagram, got to get back to what I need to do. I have everything jotted down that I need to get accomplished. And bro, it's the littlest things, bro, because literally like you can fill this whole thing out in 10-15 minutes and you're done. But it's actually accomplishing the things that you're writing down here. So it's like, okay, I have this meeting with Brandon, it's on here now, it's a check.
Yeah, it's you don't ever, bro, so no rich person, not even rich, successful in their own way, it doesn't even have to mean money whatsoever. Any successful person doesn't just wake up and move in the direction that they think is best for their life just on a whim. Everyone has a path that they're moving towards, and a lot of the times it helps like writing stuff down. Every single morning I write something down. I bought a big whiteboard, and every single day I write down an entire checklist, and I see what I've accomplished. And if I don't get to something, it's not something I beat myself up over. It's just something that I move to the next day. But without that, there's so much chaos, man. There's so much just indecisiveness in my days, and so much wandering and lostness because you don't know what you're doing. Like what?
No, absolutely. And bro, to be an
today?
entrepreneur is tough, bro. It's not an easy thing, dude.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing, and it can look easy. And I think that's one of those things that a lot of
You
people
make it look easy, man.
Oh, bro, get out of
You
here,
make
man.
it look easy.
It's one of those
I know
things
it's tough.
that, bro, it is tough. Like I could tell you transparently, bro, like it hasn't aligned the way it was supposed to until I would say like third quarter last year. Finally, everything's kind of started aligning, but that was because of preparation that I put in first quarter of 2020. And during this whole quarantine thing and being inside, it was like almost perfect for me because it did make me even focus and double down on everything that I needed to do,
Mm-hmm.
because I was going at 100 miles per hour doing these trips and flying here and flying there,
Mm-hmm.
but not really honing in on, okay, how are we going to make this profitable, or how are we going to make this, how are we going to create longevity, because
Mm-hmm.
doing this the way we were doing wasn't going to be something that is sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
If I continuously do just trips and videos and push and push and push without strategizing,
Mm-hmm.
it literally was going to be too much chaos and it was going to blow up. So, bro, quarantine was great because, bro, I sat down and said, okay, let's regroup. We've
Mm-hmm.
done this over the course of the last year and a half. Cool. How do we double down? How do I focus on even my other businesses? Because, bro, one business can, sometimes we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll leave our 9 to 5 to pursue something. And sometimes it's like, okay, you can only edit 8 hours a day effectively, because
Mm-hmm.
after that it might be junk. It could only be 3 hours a day you can edit,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be junk. It's like, okay, I need to stimulate my mind and do other things that might be more profitable. But when I come back to editing, I can appreciate the editing and get to that creativity that I need to get
Mm-hmm.
to, so I can effectively do this and continuously grow in that. Because if you do 3 hours of editing, bro, your 3 hours of editing starts even condensing even shorter and shorter to
Mm-hmm.
effectively do what you were doing 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 months ago you might be learning something, but now because it's a cakewalk,
Mm-hmm.
it only takes you
Yep.
20 minutes.
Yep. And it
And
could get repetitive too, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So now it's like you still have to stimulate yourself in other ways, bro. So like real estate took off for me last year, and going into this year, it's been nuts.
Mm-hmm.
The label, bro, the label signed to a a company called Ingrooves, that the parent company of Ingrooves is Universal Music Group. So now the music that we're doing is supported in a whole different way than it was before, because we didn't have the backing of a big company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the artists now have more of a direction than they've ever had. Now we have another artist that genuinely, bro, he's a self generating freaking machine when it comes to Spotify reproductions, because
Mm-hmm.
people genuinely like his music. We
Mm-hmm.
hadn't had an artist like that, but it derived from even doing the things that we did 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because this artist that I'm talking about right now reached out to me even before we ever released our first video.
Dang.
But at the time, it wasn't the right time for his project.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the right space, but things aligned 2020 April, and we're in quarantine. It's like, okay, well, what you're doing, you can't do right now, because he was in nightlife. He's like, you know what? I want to focus in music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I genuinely liked your music even back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure it out. So we figured it out. And now, because of that relationship and that artist getting brought onto the team, we're able to do even bigger things, because now there's more eyes on our projects.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, it's a timing thing. It's a preparation thing. But if I didn't continuously do my music thing, that artist would have been disinterested in what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still actively doing what you're doing. Sometimes the little daily deposits you're thinking aren't doing anything, but they're creating a time lapse for people to go back and say, oh, he's been doing this for years.
That's a great way to put it, dude. It's a time lapse, dude. It's a
Bro,
small
it's a
picture.
resume.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
resume. Literally, your Instagram is a resume
Mm-hmm.
of what you've been doing over the course of whatever time you started something. So it's like, okay, if this music thing did start 2018, where's the evidence? Okay, boom, I can look back on Felipe's Instagram, Kevin's Instagram, Dylan's Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
They were the three guys with Josh. Okay, boom. There's Brandon taking these first pictures 2018 when these guys got started. So he was
Mm-hmm.
involved in the initial beginnings of this company.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, now you start seeing even the development. Now we went from, okay, 4 guys with an idea with 2 artists in Colombia, to now having 7 artists, a bunch of producers, and now a team of approximately 20 to 25 people.
Woo! Let's go, dude.
But
That's
it began with just having an idea, getting it on
mm-hmm.
paper, and then actually doing it. A lot of times, bro, people are just afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard, bro. Yes, everything is hard. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that's worth anything is always going to be
Yeah.
hard. I don't have the money. Bro, I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And that's one
Yeah.
of the things that hold a lot of people back, bro. Thank God Discover Card. Thank God Capital One.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing that I think Brian Chesky, the founder of Airbnb, mentioned back when I was like in tech, and I was at this, just listening to this podcast, and he was just showing this booklet. He's like, this was our booklet of our investors or something along those lines. And bro, it was like a baseball card book of all the credit cards and all the balances that
Oh
they
my
had.
God. Yeah.
And I was like, bro, he just went balls deep in this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, why am I not going balls deep in this?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I have to create my own opportunities, bro. I had applied that summer before at every single music label, whether it's Sony, Universal, bro. I was willing to go and be the freaking coffee runner
Mm-hmm.
for these companies,
Mm-hmm.
and bro, not even an interview. And this is me with a master's degree trying to figure and my next move. I really was always interested in music. I had been working with your brother on trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out some of the stuff that I could do with him. And bro, no one even responded to any of my freaking applications. And I think I'd put in easily at least 1,000 applications, bro,
Jeez.
that summer. So I said, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me create my own opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It aligned where these guys presented themselves. I aligned it up with my partners on the tech side.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you know what? We're down for this music venture.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, let's go. So then we spend away, and bro, I mean, bro, it wasn't easy. I'll tell you
No,
that. None of it
absolutely
was
not.
easy, but the idea and the experience, bro, has led to us being so fruitful now,
Mm-hmm.
and even creating more opportunities in the present because of the investment from back then.
Well, the risk, so many people get caught up on the risk, and the risk is, once you get that the risk is temporary, and when you actually apply the risk to your life, let's just say credit cards, if you swipe that credit card and a camera hits my door, a lens hits my door, and I'm ready to go, I have what I need now. You have that debt now. So you got to figure out how to get that debt off, and you have the
Oh, yeah.
tool to do it. So all it is now is you doing it, and that's, most people are just afraid to swipe the credit card because they're like, well, if I do that, then I'm already in trouble. But
You know what's riskier?
not doing it.
Dying and not ever taking that risk.
Mm-hmm.
Dying with that desire of I could have, would have, or should have. And bro, I was in the hospital setting, bro. That's where I got my master's. I got a master's in public administration. I was working as an administrator in the hospital. And the fact that I'm seeing bro, especially being in a geriatric oriented hospital, right? Geriatric being elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I see people dying every day at this hospital, and I'm over here dying inside, not taking a risk. So I was like, bro,
that's an insane like metaphor, and a real life metaphor for you,
Oh yeah.
And do you think because of that job you saw things differently and like actually attacked it with a different headspace, or did you even know at that point?
To an extent, but I was already always kind of a hustler, even as a kid, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hustle orientation of wanting to do things for myself has always kind of been there.
Mm-hmm.
It just applying it the way we applied it, and when the opportunity presented itself, like, bro, I said I have to go in. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a question of whether or not I was going to do it. I was just going to. My biggest thing was, okay, when I do it, it was never an if I do it.
That's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah,
because it's a lot of the times we go and we see these things that we want to attain, and even if you go for it, there's a weird thing that starts to happen where you go and you're like, I'm going on this path. I think I'm going on the right path. And sometimes you are going on the right path and you'll see the results later on. And sometimes you're not going on the right path, but you're still moving in that same direction. And that is probably the hardest thing that you have to determine during the whole process of everything. It's like, it's not even the risk. It's not even the, I'm all in, I'm going for it. It's determining and deciding and knowing whether that route that you're taking is the right route, But at the end of the day, if you are all in, if you are going for it, if you do have that commitment towards a certain topic, whatever it is, the right answer is going to get led to you if you do have
Oh
that
yeah.
passion and commitment, because there's enough knowledge and resources in the world to lead you in the right direction. If I'm studying the camera wrong, like there's a gazillion YouTube videos to be like, hey, that's not how you do it. This is the proper way, So I think once people begin to realize that,
And even that can be subjective.
oh yeah,
Who says that's not the right way, right?
yeah,
There's so many
yeah,
people that do things like
their way.
completely not, yeah, their
Hmm.
way, and
Hmm.
create their own lane. It's like I forgot which guy had been using a DSLR to record music videos, and I think like the camera was like a $500 $600 Nikon, but bro, he has $100,000 budgets off this little camera just
Wow.
because he does it his way.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's like it's not traditional, and that's okay.
Hmm.
Bro, I think the more that we continuously grow in age and wisdom and experience, the more we're starting to realize that there really isn't a right way a lot of times.
Hmm.
There's just doing it
Yeah.
and figuring it out
Yeah.
and taking in as much wisdom that you can from other people, but not even having that interfere with, I guess, the bigger picture. Because
Hmm.
sometimes, bro, people's experiences are people's experiences and not necessarily Brandon's experience or
Hmm.
Felipe's experience. And we can take everything with, because bro, life's too short, bro. Life's too
Hmm.
short not to do what you want to do or what you love to do.
Hmm. And just to follow up on what everyone else is doing, just because it's a trend for them doesn't mean it is your trend.
Yeah.
That's what I've been learning a lot lately is like, man, I don't push out a lot of work because I'm trying to find what is myself authentically, and like I'm experimenting in the background, trying a bunch of new stuff, and I'm seeing what other people are doing. And obviously, like trends are hot. Like I can look online what is popping, and I could make a video that's popping. I could do the exact same thing they're doing, but it doesn't feel like myself. So I feel like genuinely finding out what yourself is the journey. Is the like, because you'll randomly hit it one day, and you'll be like, what the fuck, like this feels so good to me. It's so cool. It feels so unique. People begin to know you for your style and what you do, and how you do things, and you begin to know yourself a little bit more. And
Oh yeah.
I think that's the path that leads you to like longevity. That is that is the journey. That's why, like, when I talk to people like you or Brandon, who I talked to yesterday, have longevity, and I mean, obviously you haven't had longevity because time, but I see that you will have longevity for years and years to come, based on your ethics of your work ethic, the way in which you treat people, the way in which you treat yourself, the attributes that you know how to grab onto very tightly, and also the attributes that you have to pass on to someone else. You do that too, which is so crazy because I see so many people who are just like control freaks, and they're wanting to grab from all different directions. Like, I need to have my input here or here or here. Once it's yours, that little realm of whatever it is you're trying to take on, that shit is yours, and you grab onto it and you're like, yo, I got this. And it's not like a egotistic, like, I got this. It's like I'm going to get this shit done for us. And when someone else's kind of niche comes in, you're like, bro, this is all you. I support you 100%. Like, let me know if you need anything. Whatever it is, I got you. But like, I trust you 100%. Like, even in making the videos back then, I was like stressed out, like I was saying. And you came up to me like that, and I was like, that is so nice. That was like, it literally like helped me to like just breathe a second and just chill. And that was, it's so cool. It's so cool
and
seeing
I
that in you.
and I think that comes from sports more than anything, bro. I was
Oh
a
yeah.
goalie, right? So being a goalie, you're analyzing the game. You're seeing it from a different lens.
Hmm.
You're seeing it from pretty much the opposite side, right? If you're on that side of the field, all you do is communicate and transmit what you can see. You're seeing something completely different. If you're on the camera, you're trying to score. You're a
Hmm.
forward. You're up top. You're seeing what I can't see because you're
Mm-hmm.
so much closer. So it's like, bro, there's nothing I can relay except for what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't control everything, bro. There's no way anyone can ever control anything
Mm-hmm.
except for just empowering, bro. I can empower more confidence into the team by saying, bro, you got this.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
decision, and bro, and then just being supported, bro, because
Mm-hmm.
we just learn, bro. We're there to learn more than anything. That's we thrive on just learning from each other, and I think that's where a lot of people lose sight, where it's like they want it a certain way and they're not going to learn from
Mm-hmm.
someone else's skill sets, bro. I was
Mm-hmm.
learning a ton from you guys more than
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm. On, I mean, again, we were learning as we were going at that time, but you know, you see the way it implements now, and the way that you've taken on projects now. It's it all ties in together. It's so crazy. Um, you went from freaking dad bod to getting ripped, bro. Sorry to switch it up on you like that, but I wrote some notes up here and I was like, this motherfucker went from a dad bod to went straight getting rocked. How is that process, man?
Bro, that's freaking every day of hitting it, and bro, it's literally like it's a timing thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was mentioning to you, like I switched. I'd been a realtor, right? Going almost on 5 years of being a licensed realtor, and I didn't see success until again last year
Mm-hmm.
because I aligned myself up with people that are a lot more successful than I am, and I saw that it stemmed from just waking up early, doing what
Mm-hmm.
they needed to do. And bro, like that was always a normal thing for me as a kid because I was in sports. Like, bro, in high school, I remember waking up early, running before high school, having going to school right after that, having football practice and having soccer, and then repeating. And that was like a normal curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
In college, it was no different. We had rehab and practice from 5 a.m. up until 11 a.m., 12, and then class.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when I got to the professional world and didn't have that kind of need anymore or
Mm-hmm.
that kind of curriculum, really kind of threw me for a loop. And it goes back to being in the right environment. So I go to this environment where, bro, the owner of our company is working out and jacked, and he's 44, 45 years old. And bro, like he is ripped. And I'm like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I know people look like that at
Mm-hmm.
40, 44, 45, etc. And there's even guys older than him extremely ripped. I'm like, all right, bro, like these guys are laying out the blueprint. I just need to follow. And
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those positions, and I mentioned this a lot, where it's like, I know being an alpha sometimes you always kind of want to lead, but there's sometimes, bro, where you have to recognize that's not the situation where you're leading, and you
Mm-hmm.
as an alpha have to absorb the other alphas around and say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is cool. I
Mm-hmm.
need to absorb this
Mm-hmm.
because then this is something I can transmit to my pack and
Mm-hmm.
my group.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, it's pretty much that, bro. They
Yeah.
started this challenge and went from a 30-day challenge to now just a lifestyle more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta recognize when you're like an alpha in training, kind of like don't give
Yeah.
up the fact that like you are like inevitably. I know I'm an alpha, but I'm an alpha in training. You know, there's people that have got this shit made. They've been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hierarchy to this system, and that's not a bad thing, man. So that we live in a world of like who is first, you know, who is
Oh
flexing
yeah.
the hardest, who has the most clout, who is the buffest in the gym, you know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
that hierarchy is something that you shouldn't like frown upon or avoid. You should
No.
look and see like they have a perspective that is unique. They have the perspective of being the boss, the CEO of the company. They have the perspective of being the buffest guy in the gym, if you want to call it that. You know, like they got to that point somehow. You're not there, and that knowledge that they attained is somewhere between you and them. And all you
Oh
got to
yeah.
do is ask, and all you got to do is figure that out. And
Absolutely, bro.
that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, and it's being in that environment where you can ask, bro. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times people don't know that
Mhm.
you don't know what you don't know, and if you
Mhm.
never ask or put yourself in a position to absorb what
Mhm.
others are going through, and you can take for yourself, like, bro, that can be instrumental and life changing, bro. For me, it's been life changing.
Yeah, and you got to realize that there's going to be a lot of, if we're just talking about alphas in this scenario, there's a lot of alphas out there. And if you go up to them and say, hey, I want to learn how to be a music producer or whatever it is, and they say no, motherfucker, there is so many fish in the sea. There are so many alphas just like your ass. They're out there.
Yeah.
Like, just go find another one. Like, you can't
just
be
have to
afraid
find
of
them.
that no. And sometimes, like, the dude might have just had COVID or something, you know? The dude might have just been
or
feeling
maybe
like
he's in
shit.
training, bro.
Yeah, maybe he's in training. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we need to move away from, first you have to kind of find people who are in the headspace that is not like this egotistic style of like, for me, like I make videos and I see where you're at in making videos and I look down to you. You know, I wouldn't share my secrets with you. I wouldn't teach you that. You have to find people who are open-minded, that just because they're above you doesn't mean they're still people, man. They're just people making a living. They're people trying to eat, have shelter, have clothes, have relationships, have all this stuff, that people just want to be happy. There is no, you got to get your headspace out of the fact that, oh, they have 30,000 followers. Will he even talk to me, or will she even talk to me? Like, dude, just ask, man. It's fine. If they say no, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just
Ask you shall receive, bro. Ask
Yeah.
you shall receive. It's in scripture, man. In all honesty, everything's there, bro. And
yeah.
the more you put yourself in a better position to learn, bro, the better off you're gonna be and grow from it. It's getting and bro, it's okay to get no's, bro. It's fine. You start becoming adapt to taking the no's and start almost like, once you do get a yes, bro, valuing that yes. Because in all honesty, like I was telling you, I applied to 1,000 jobs to come and realize that, you know what, it's a job. I was applying to 9-to-5s, and nothing against a 9-to-5, but I've always kind of just been orientated, even as a kid, knowing that I wanted a business. I wanted to start something that's mine. So it's like, why was I so I don't know, why was I so hard on myself for not getting a job or getting accepted to have a 9-to-5 at Sony, where I might still be running coffees and not even be behind a production. Like, bro, I can edit, I can shoot, I can direct, I can produce, I can executive produce, I can consult, I can A&R, I can do so many
Sell
things
a house.
that I can sell a house on top of that, right? Like, no, bro, those are things that, like, if I would have taken a job that would have taken up 12 to 14 hours of my day, just being in the right place, I might not be able to do that at this very moment.
Absolutely.
Just and waiting for my turn.
Yeah. And like you said, there is nothing wrong with the 9-to-5, but for people who have an itch and a desire to have these constant ideas, these creative ideas, dude, the jump it's terrifying, but also it is it's so simple, because of the fact that once you get to where you want to be, it does take work. It does take all this patience, timing, all this stuff. But once you get there, you're free to experiment with your ideas, like, and legitimately even create incomes from them. Like, you can be a real estate agent and go talk to people and then come back and like produce music. And, oh, I had an idea today. I want to shoot a music video. Oh, I had an idea today. I want to fucking buy shoes online and resell them. You know, like, it's, you're free to be flexible with the way that you operate and learn things and create things. And that is something that I've learned over the past couple of years, is like, I have like legitimate freedoms, like legit freedoms that I can get up and go and do whatever, whenever, however I want to. And there's, again, there's nothing wrong with the 9-to-5, but for those people who are on the edge, bro, fucking jump. Please jump. And the worst thing that happens is if you go in debt, if you lose money, and if you are behind and you can't pay your rent, get a 9-to-5, dude, and rebuild again and learn what you did wrong. Because I did that. I jumped too soon when I was back in Arizona, and I quit my job. And then after a month, I was like, I can't sustain work for I was getting work here and there, but I can't sustain this. And then I realized, like, oh, no, I got to build clientele. I have to sharpen up my skills. I got to be more, professional with my website and my, branding and whatever it is. and then you come back and you do it and you're like, holy shit, what? That was good timing. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do this. I can do this now.
It's never like you think it's going to be.
Mm-mm.
And you can prepare as much as you want. You it bro it's just it's never the way you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
That simple, bro. It if you have an idea of the way you think it's going to be, even if you are prepared, bro, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, it's
Yeah.
wrong, because the
Yeah.
shit's going to hit the fan. You are going to break a leg. You might lose an eye. You might lose your pride.
Mm-hmm.
You might lose a lot of things.
Definitely gonna lose your pride, bro. You're
Oh yeah,
definitely gonna
well
get your shit rocked,
you
like
gotta put
shaking.
you gotta put the ego aside. But
Yeah.
no, bro, it's humbling. It's
Mhm.
humbling as hell, bro.
Mhm.
But if you never do it, bro, you'll never know, and you'll never know what you can achieve. And bro, I have so much more understanding of what my value is now, having done it,
Mhm.
as opposed to if I woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Mhm.
and sat there working where I was working at before. And bro, it's night and day.
It's
It's
night and
absolutely night
day,
and day.
dude. It is night and day, man. It's that's something within this podcast that I want to promote. I want to help people realize, because a lot of the times you don't realize that they don't have anyone to talk to about things like this, and they don't
Yeah.
have these kind of tough conversations from, I mean, this isn't a tough conversation, but for them it could be a tough conversation trying to talk to somebody like, hey, I want to get out, man. I want to do my thing. I want to do my shit, whatever it is. I want to do it. A lot of people don't have that, especially right now, being so connected to devices, being so kind of pushed off. They kind of suppress their abilities with, being on social media or, playing video games or whatever it is. And realistically, like that jump is so close to you, and it's not as big as you think it is. It's kind of like it's like a false floor, like you think it's like this giant mountain that you're jumping off, and realistically it's like 3 feet down. You're like, oh shit, I thought I was gonna fall for like 5 minutes. No, it's just, it's quick. It happens. You sit there, you realize like, oh, this isn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be like, people were gonna come up and stab me in my sleep and ask for money and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's so much simpler than that. So
Yeah. No, after you do it, you start realizing like, okay, you just have to make it work. Now you have to find a flow. Now you have to find a rhythm. And yeah, dude, it's one where obviously like it's tough to find the right people that you can even conversate with, bro, because you can be in an environment, you don't know what you don't know. And obviously when you're around people who don't know and know less than what you kind of are trying to learn or want to know, it can be very toxic, right? Because then obviously it demoralizes your want to do what you're thinking of doing. But bro, the outlets are there, bro. I mean, I spent like I would say like a whole year listening to Gary Vee, like in 2017. It was just Gary Vee, bro. Just like, all right, throw on some Gary Vee. Let's see what Gary Vee's gonna tell me today. And literally,
that
it's the
high
same
ass
message.
energy, that high
It's
energy.
the same message. Gary
Get
Vee's
after,
message
go,
is like, just
go,
fucking
go.
do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Just do it. Just do it.
And
Whatever
you
you're
need to
thinking
hear
of, just
that.
do it.
You need to hear that
absolutely.
too. I mean, obviously we all have goals, we all have dreams, and we all have a vision of where we want to be. Are you living the reality that you dreamed of a couple of years ago?
Being a dad for sure in that aspect.
Yeah.
If you ask me like, have I met some of the goals that I've set for myself when it comes to a lot of these things? I would say yes. But those goals kind of adapt and change, right? Like, okay, if you ask me like, what was 2018's goal with these music videos that we're recording? We got this helicopter, we got these cool cars, we got this whole nightclub. I was like, bro, we're gonna get a Grammy, we're gonna get an award. All right. Now being humbled by the industry and seeing where things are at. Okay, cool. Now let's just get to 1 million Spotify plays first. Then we'll get to 2, we'll get to 3, we'll get to 5, then maybe a Grammy down the road. But it's they adapt, right? They adapt, these goals adapt. But am I leading towards where I want to be? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that stemmed from, bro, not quitting, bro. Because there's so many times, and my wife can tell you, bro, like you think and you're thinking and you stay awake thinking. thinking of the what ifs, the could have, would have, should have's, and the if I don't do this today, what's going to be the repercussion tomorrow? Like, bro, now, like, if you asked me in 2018, what was I thinking? I was like, oh man, what if I miss a credit card payment from this investment that I'm putting in on this credit card? To now, it's like, okay, what if I don't do this project? Now the what ifs change because maybe the financial circumstances change and they get better because you didn't stop trying and things are just mapping out and working in your favor. Everything I think eventually works in your favor. It just takes time. It's a process. It's not an overnight thing. I look back at even like some of my real estate videos back in 2019 compared to 2021, bro. It's night and day. Where it's like, okay, this guy now in 2021 can definitely represent me. Or maybe in 2019, I'd been like, I don't know if he really means what he's saying.
Yeah,
So
and
it's just the experience, bro.
but also that experience. I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. That experience that you have back in 2019 when you're envisioning where you can be, seeing other people at the place that you want to be, and then, working until you try and get there. Looking back on those times are some of my favorite times because you get these weird creative bursts of just like, sorry, I'm gonna let my dog in.
All right, bro. Bear with me just one sec.
Yeah.
Bear with me one sec.
Yeah, absolutely. Why you crying, baby girl? I gotta drink some water, man. These podcasts they're tough. They are tough. Because you get the cotton mouth, man. You get a lot of that. I hope everyone had a good day today. I hope they kicked some ass. I hope you kind of set some goals and accomplished them. If you haven't and you are working towards getting in a better position in life, just write some shit down. Just literally write down some simple things that aren't overwhelming. Simple, small tasks that'll get you up, get you moving, get your body going. Try and put your phone down. Try and put yourself in a different environment. I was thinking about this today. If you're operating in an environment where is not efficient, you got to get outside that environment. But first you got to recognize that you're in an inefficient environment. For me, a lot of the times when I go back inside my house, I'm like chilling, I'll grab my phone, I'll like kind of rest on the kitchen counter and just be hanging out and realize that this isn't my best space to operate. So what up, Flip?
All right, my man.
Sorry, I was ranting to the gang, so I completely forgot what I was talking about.
No, looking back at those times.
Oh, looking back at those times is the success for me personally. Is some of my greatest successes is knowing that where I am now. I used to look at it before as equipment equals success. If I attain this equipment, that means the work that I put in created, the equipment to arise. Which, yes, in some ways that is, but my greatest accomplishments are looking back and knowing that I had such a desire to attain that equipment that I put my mind to it and I actually did.
Yeah.
And that desire to attain was my success and not the equipment itself. And so it's inevitable that you're probably going to have that emotion when you're first starting something. Like we all want things and we all want, the cream of the crop to create. Or nice clothes when you're going to a real estate shoot or a nice house that you're trying to sell or something like that instead of a $200,000 house. You always want what's higher, but if your passion for it and if your commitment for it is that strong, it's not of am I ever going to get there? It's when I get there.
Yep.
So always just remember that it's always going to be when you get there if you're committed. Unless you suck
Absolutely.
at singing. Unless you suck at singing.
Yeah, at that point.
You ain't
I
getting
don't know, man. I see,
You seen American
I don't
Idol?
even think I think even the industry itself, and you look at some of the most elusive or the highest touted acts in music, bro, they're not the greatest singers.
Oh yeah, no.
They're some of the greatest marketers. They're some of the most
Mm-hmm.
creative people.
Mm-hmm.
They find a
Entertainers.
desire. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The desire to get there is stronger than sometimes even the most talented people.
Mm-hmm.
Because talent's one thing, bro, but hard work and discipline
Mm-hmm.
will outpace talent if talent doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Talent only gets you so far. I mean, they say that in
Absolutely.
sports all the time. My dad would always tell me, "You're not the fastest. You're not the strongest. You're not the smartest on the field when we're playing football. But you can continuously practice day in and day out. You can rep all these different extra drills. You can stay 20 minutes after everyone leaves and stay with your quarterback and learn timing and learn routes and patience and signs and whatever it is that you need to learn to get that extra step so that you level out. And
Oh
inevitably,
yeah.
over time, you do get to become a better athlete, but that conditioning for yourself is so much better. It's so much better than just walking out on the field and saying, I got this, my abilities, my natural raw talents for whatever I do is going to be enough. That extra time is what separates you from everyone else.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. And it's I had a perfect example in college. I came into college, I would say I was the number 2 guy. And coming into college, bro, like I'd never been a number 2 guy. I'd always been the starter when it came to being on the soccer field. So getting humbled to be the number 2 guy was a whole another animal. There was a senior that was in front of me, and rightfully so. The guy was just a lot more prepared than I was to be playing at the level that we were playing at. So my freshman year, I was behind that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy behind me, and the guy behind me worked so hard that the next 3 years in college, he was in front of me because I took it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, he was rightfully in front of me because he was that much more prepared than I was. Where it goes back to the things that you're mentioning and what your dad said. Like, bro, he just worked harder. Not only that, he worked before and after I did. And when I was working, he was working as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what, bro, he was just ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have been in the best shape of my life, the most prepared in my life, but there was just someone that was better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always stuck with me because I'm like, you know what? That to me shows that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where the heck you start, but bro, it's what the objective is and where you want to go and how you want to finish. That's going to determine the outcome. Mm-hmm. And bro, if you ask him, his college experience when it comes to the soccer field was way different from mine. I maybe had 10 games in college. He has 60 under his belt because he just deserved the position
mm-hmm.
over I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, bro. And I learned to accept that later on in life. At the time, bro, I'm obviously pissed because
that ego
this guy,
hurt.
Big time, bro. Because I'm like, hurt. Yo, this guy was behind me. Bro, this guy, just like where you're mentioning that I made this transformation with my body, he made that transformation, bro. Mm-hmm. He was a bigger kid. And bro, the next season he comes in, he is the fittest guy on the team. He was the fastest guy on the team. He was the healthiest guy on the team. And bro, he was the team, bro, that he carried the team. And that was cool to see now looking back and reflecting. But that's why I don't take things for granted anymore. And that's why I always tell anyone, bro, like you can have my position, whether it's at the label, whether it's at the real estate company, whatever it might be, but you're going to have to work for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to work. And I work a lot. Yeah. I sleep 4 or 5 hours a day. So you might have to sleep 2 hours, 3 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And I have years of doing this. So it might take you half a decade. It might take you a decade to get there.
Yeah.
But bro, once you get there, and if it does come, which it's not going to come because I'm not going to let that happen. Yeah. But if it does come,
well, bro, you're like, congratulations. Congratulations. Absolutely. I leveled up. I'm the CEO now. And now you have my position, So it's
absolutely.
But that healthy, that's what I love about the guys that you have at your label and stuff like that too. You really promote people who are about their business and who try and go over and beyond. You know, it's like, and you're accountable for a lot of people. Like if someone's slipping up, you're like, not a dick, but you're literally like, hey, like we got to get this done, man. Like we need you here, you know? And it's
Yeah.
that accountability is huge because you could shy away from that aspect too. You're a natural born leader and you really like implement those attributes within the even your friends, which is the hardest thing to do because at the end of the day, like, you know, like that's the hardest thing to do. Like trying to
Yeah.
be when all you want to do realistically is bullshit and hang out and be cool with your friends, but when you're trying to create a business and build an empire, everyone's got to be on their P's and Q's and for you to step into that role and not and for you to step into that role, know that your job is your job, their job is theirs. You let them do their thing. You spread the love equally. You do everything that you do, but also hold people to a certain standard. That is something so cool, man. It's so cool to see. It's a big reason why I'm always checking out your shit. I'm always following it and I'm always like trying to pull from it. Like I don't tell people, but I pull so much shit from so many different avenues of what people are doing because you're doing it in a way that I appreciate a lot. Like I said, I don't really know what's going on in the background, but we got to hang out for a while and I understand how you operate and you don't switch up from that operation the way in which you do it. You know, you only evolve
Yeah.
from that and get better. So man, you're just killing it. You're killing it. You're doing a
Yeah.
great job.
It's an interpretation, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And interpretation at its finest, because if I look back at Cancun, it's easy to say, man, we spent $10,000-$15,000 on these projects that didn't pay its dividends in the context of what I invested. But bro, I look at the bigger scope and say, bro, if I don't do this, this doesn't exist today.
Mm-hmm.
So what exists today stemmed from this initial investment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's education. I think I even said
Mm-hmm.
it when we were out there, bro. This is like a boot camp. This is education. This is school. Like this is applying our principles and seeing if it works. It's all hypothesis until you can prove that the experiment is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
you can only prove it that it's correct if you can continuously get the same result, if not even a better result.
mm-hmm.
Until then, bro, it's just a hypothesis.
Yeah, and our hypothesis is starting at point A, going to point B, and we think that this journey is a straight line. And every time you look at something from the beginning of, you know, from the beginning of my video career, I'm like, oh, it's going to go this way, this way, this way, and this way. You know, I'm going to get from here to there by January, you know, whatever it is. And you don't realize that each decision you make, instead of going straight vertical, it goes like sideways over here. And you're like, I'm way the fuck over here. And then it'll take you back the opposite way over here. And next thing you know, you're zigzagging, doing circles, all this stuff. And at the end of it, you get to B and you realize like, oh, there's a whole path there's all these weird secret pathways over here. There's all these different views and vantage points of everything on this trail that I was trying to walk to. I was trying to get to the top of this mountain and I didn't realize that there's paths absolutely everywhere. It's not just like it's not the main chute, you know? That is one of the coolest things about just doing shit for yourself. Just trying to attain for yourself, no matter what it is. Even if it's like working out and losing weight, like you're going to go through the same thing no matter what you do. If you want to be the best chess player, if you want to freaking, you know, win at Yahtzee, like you're going to face all these different paths that you get to walk. And that's the beauty of it. It's random. It's chaotic. You got to learn to actually let go of control, be in control of what you want to be in control of, but just take a deep breath and be like, okay, this is where I'm at. All right. How do I get, you know, back on track? Or how do I find the next path up, you know?
No, you're completely right. I mean, there's so many different paths, bro. And what worked for one person might not work for the next. It's just doing it, bro. You just gotta freaking pull the trigger and figure it out for yourself, and then just put yourself in an environment where you're gonna get the best results.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Was there anything else you wanted to hit on? I just kind of wanted to talk about, you know, stuff like this, like just business and how you've conjured up your business, how you've maintained motivation and built a brand and built essentially your dream. Is there anything is there anything else you wanna
Uh,
capitalize on?
just 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 talking about taking that jump, bro. That jump is scary. It's always going to be scary, man. But you will never not appreciate taking the jump if you never. You can't regret taking the jump. How do I word this? I guess you can't. I always just say you can't live life regretting not taking the jump, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You will regret everything at the end if you never take that jump.
Mm-hmm.
That
Absolutely.
jump, that jump is scary, but bro, it's scarier not taking the jump.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but sometimes I'll just imagine right now if I just died, if I just got capped in the head, so whatever
Yeah.
happens, an asteroid hits the earth, am I content? Am I happy with my life? Am I good? Like, would I be comfortable? Would I be easy, going out and just being like, yeah, that's fine. I did everything I said I was going to do, or at least taking the jump and knowing that I tried. I'm cool with that. I'm good. But if your answer is no, and you would regret it and you would feel this type of way about it, then you got work to do. And it's an awesome thing because that work, it's infinite. The amount of work you do it is infinite. But you got to get that shit moving because it'll just keep feeling longer and longer. The path, the mountain will just get higher and higher and higher. The more excuses start to ramble up, the fact that you have kids or whatever starts adding up. Like these are all real
Oh yeah.
things that you have to think about.
And
But
appreciate the process, bro.
appreciate the process, man.
Appreciate the process.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that tatted on my neck right here. Hell yeah, brother. Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Just giving some words of wisdom. It's good to talk to you again. It's good to see you again. And we didn't even do an intro, but this is my boy Flip right here. This is Felipe Reyes. Um, Honestly, you're a person I looked up to a lot. So I definitely wanted to get you on here, especially in the infancy of this podcast. I want to do it live with you one day, just to get the vibes back
Absolutely,
and
bro.
and
Absolutely.
get the game back together.
And,
But
and see, bro, this didn't even exist last time around, bro. Having the studio, I told you that we are gonna
hey,
have one, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
all the way back up there. We have the little
Hey,
studio back there. And yeah, dude, I told you
yeah,
when we had started all this that we'd get a spot. And nah, dude, little by little, everything just starts working out in your favor. You just have to have faith
yep,
and enjoy the process.
yep. And just be there for the people that are riding with you, man. Just be there.
Absolutely,
So give my family love for you, man. And
absolutely, bro. Likewise,
man, just keep killing it. So
oh man, appreciate you, bro.
anytime, brother. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, listening, all that good stuff. I'll have another podcast on Tuesday. Super exciting. I want to make this a little bit more experience based over time. So eventually, hopefully, we can do. I want to get to a point where we can like take flight somewhere, and because all this is I don't have to plug anything in. I could take it on the go. So we can do this on top of a mountain. Like on Tuesday, I'm doing one on top of a mountain. I'm doing like a 3 mile hike and going on top of this mountain and doing a podcast. I mean, just in the office, just anywhere. So definitely got to have you back on, man.
Absolutely, bro. Anytime.
Oh, yeah. All right, brother. Well, it's good to
All
see
right,
you.
brother.
Take care, everyone. Peace. And